Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. We are pleased that you are attending this webinar this afternoon. And we are featuring today an important partner institution from Australia, William Angliss Institute. And here today with us are Bruce Bradfield, Regional Director, and Miss Hannah Vo. Yeah, hi. And Miss Hannah Vo, International Marketing Officer. So our topic for this afternoon's webinar is training for an exciting career in hospitality and tourism. So now I'm giving the floor back to our guests. So is it going to be Hannah or Bruce?
It'll be me, Cecilia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bruce. So now you can take the floor, and we are pleased that you are all here. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Cecilia, for the warm welcome, and thank you, IDP, for inviting us here today to talk to all of you about hospitality and tourism. As Cecilia said, my name is Bruce, and I am the marketing manager for William Angliss, and also I'm joined today by Hannah, who is in the office with me, and she is going to be answering your questions. If you have any questions, please enter them into the chat, and we will try and answer those live whilst I'm talking. We will also allow for some time at the end of the presentation if you have any questions. So don't be shy. We'd be very happy to answer any questions you might have about training or about hospitality and tourism. But as I said, I'm the manager, and I'm going to talk to you about, not really a lot about William Angliss, a little bit about William Angliss, but talking more about hospitality and tourism and what you might think of when you think about hospitality and tourism, and is that really the career for me? So I have a short presentation, and as I said at the end, I will also allow for some time to answer any questions you might have. I am very fond of the Philippines. I used to live there. I lived in the Philippines for about 2.5 years, and I was at one stage I was managing Fridays on Boracay. So I'm sure you all know of Fridays at Boracay. Many years ago, I was part of the team who set up Fridays. So I do know the Philippines, and I love it so much. I can't wait to get back. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and share a small presentation with you, and we will get going. So what I'm going to be talking about today is training for an exciting career in hospitality and tourism. So the way I thought I might start this is talking about what is hospitality and tourism. It's a very big industry. We all think we know what it is, but it's actually very complicated and complex and quite broad. So it's a very diverse industry, which includes things such as culinary, so food, of course. Hospitality. Now, what does hospitality mean? It can mean hotels, it can mean resorts, it can mean restaurants and cafes, and anything to do with food. Events, event management. The Philippines is very big for events, and so is Australia, particularly in Melbourne. We run sporting events. Sporting events are incredibly important. Entertainment events, promotion events, but a broad range of events, and it's a very big part of the industry. And of course, connected to all of this is tourism and travel. So it is all connected, and it is a very exciting industry that we're all part of. So what is it that makes it exciting? Why have you come along today to this presentation? I think I probably know why. We look at, oops, I'll just go back. We have a little presentation here about what we call the experience industry, and that is the industry of hospitality and tourism. So I'll play this very short video, and then we'll see if you are able to, I hope you're able to hear this, and we will get going. I'll just press this. I just realized, Hannah, we might have some trouble here. Okay.
Bruce, can you share the sound, Bruce?
Having trouble with the share? No. One moment, excuse me, one moment. I'll just go back and try sharing the sound again. Here we go, and we'll go back. Oops, go. Here we go again. So there you have it. What is the hospitality and tourism industry? It's the experience industry. And that's the way we talk about it at William Angliss. And also that is what we see ourselves as. We are the experience experts to assist you entering that industry. So what sort of person is it that is suited to work in this industry? And I'm sure many of you that have come today, you've come for just this same reason. You're a people person. You love working with people. You like being with people, and you enjoy that side of your life. You love to experience things. I just mentioned the experience industry. You love doing things. You're a doer. You're not somebody who likes to sit back. You want to get involved. You're a good communicator, or you like communicating. You might be able to improve your communication, but you're certainly somebody who wants to communicate and engage with other people. You might be a very creative person. This industry is great for creative people. Whether you're working with food or you're working in hotels, you're working with events, creativity is something that is a real asset. Travel. It's funny, once I started traveling when I was very young, I never stopped. It's like an addiction. And I think for anyone who likes to travel, who wants to travel, or might have started traveling, this might be the industry for you. We sometimes say this industry is for people who do not want to work in an office. Even though some parts of the industry you do work in the office, but it's certainly a very flexible and exciting place to work. You're not sitting at a desk all day. You love food, you love entertainment. I think that goes without saying for people who want to work in kitchens. We start out because we love eating food, we love preparing food. You're a flexible person. You want to learn. You want to not just stick with what you have now, you want to improve yourself. And you love working with teams, with other people. You don't want to work by yourself. You want to learn and react with other people. And you love a challenge. You're not somebody who is going to be sitting back and resting on what they already know. So those sorts of people, is this the career for you? Yep, it sounds like the career for me, but what about jobs? Are there any jobs? I think we all think about this these days. Is there a good job for me at the end? Can I make some good money? And can I look after my family and myself? Well, I've got some very good news for you. We have got these statistics here from the Australian government, and this shows what is predicted up until 2025. For the next few years, what do we see is going to be happening? Now, we do know there was a very large dip in employment in these industries during COVID-19. And you can see that at 2020, it really did drop to levels that we have not seen for about 20 years. Really, really, really sad, sad, sad. And I'm sure this happened also in the Philippines. Tourism stopped, hospitality stopped, eating out stopped. So there was a huge drop in employment in these areas, and many people moved to other careers. So you can see that dip in the chart here. But what has happened now, today, in Australia and around the world, is people want to leave their houses, they want to travel again, they want to eat again, they want to go out again and have fun. And we can see the bounce back is so strong. In fact, the bounce back is so strong, there are not enough people to employ. So in Australia at the moment, there is a big shortage of people working in these areas. So this is for including accommodation, which is hotels, resorts, that sort of thing. And then we have also in the food area, so restaurants, cafes, and anything to do with food. Let's look at the culinary area, so the food area. Now, what sorts of things, where's the shortages? And you can see these lines are very interesting. The top one, the largest amount of employment opportunities is in cafes, restaurants, and takeaway food. But in particular in Australia, where we want skilled people is in the restaurants, and they might be standalone restaurants or restaurants and food outlets within a hotel. We also have pubs, taverns, and bars, so drinking outlets, and there's plenty of those in both in Australia and the Philippines. And then we have clubs as well. But you can see the dip always happened, but the recovery is back. Now, what types of jobs are there in these areas? So again, looking at food, you can see the top yellow line. It says kitchen hands. So that is sort of the lowest level that you can work in the kitchen, but it just so happens that you need more of the low level than you need of the top level. The next level is chefs. And chefs I will talk about in a moment, what chefs are. And then it goes down to bakers, patisseries, people who are going to be assisting, and then also fast food cooks. Now, what we tend to focus on here at William Angliss is training people to be chefs, managers, and bakers, pastry chefs, and above. So that's, we're looking at the professional level of working with food. Now, this is a general explanation of what those titles are, and it varies depending on where you are working. If you're working in a large commercial kitchen, then you might have all of these different levels in the kitchen. If you are working in a small kitchen, you might only have maybe 2 or 3 levels. But the thing is, this is very general, and it depends on which country you are in, which outlet you are in, a restaurant or a hotel. But this is a general way you can talk about it. So let's start at the bottom, cooks. Cooks are the people who do the cooking. They are the just basically basic skills, and you can work across some specializations, but your job is really the technical side in the kitchen of preparing the food. Commis chef, you hear this word before. This is a junior chef, and where many of our graduates may start their journey in the kitchen. So they are qualified, but they are still junior. And we move up then to what we call a chef de partie. And a chef de partie is a type of cook, really. And a cook that's sometimes called a line cook, or they look after one part of the cooking in the kitchen. So, for example, they might be the grill chef. The grill chef de partie just does the grilling of the meat, and that's the only thing they do in the kitchen. The sous chef is the second in command in the kitchen, and in many restaurants, the sous chef is in command because the head chef is not there. The head chef is the operational chef. Some people call them just chef. Sometimes they call them exec chef, but strictly speaking, they are the operational manager of the kitchen. Executive chef is where many of our students want to end up, at the very top, and it takes many, many years to get there, is that you are the manager and you are really the administrator of the restaurant or the food outlet. As I said, these terms all change depending on who the employer is, who the business is, but this is a bit of a guide. Now, it just so happens the biggest shortage we have in Australia and around the world at the moment is in the area of the cook, or what we go all the way from cook to commis to chef de partie, and then to a lesser level, sous chef and head chef. But the bottom 3, that's what they are looking for, and there is a very big shortage. Let's look at hospitality now, generally. So hospitality, we're looking now at accommodation, but also things such as waiters and people who are working in cafes and other outlets. And you can see here that food and beverage service is really the big employment opportunity. The more restaurants we have, the more food outlets, the more people you need serving and managing. Now, we call that the front of the house. We call the kitchen the back of the house. And then you'll see also in accommodation service, that looks very flat line. But depending on different parts of the country that you might be looking at, for Australia here, in some parts of Australia, that line goes very much up. So in the tourist areas, there is a very big need for people to work in the accommodation areas. Now, what sorts of skills are they looking for in these industries? Let's look at hospitality first. Now, in hospitality, we say generic skills or general skills, very important to have strong communication skills, very important to have detail, an eye for detail. You must have energy and enthusiasm. You must be good at your time management, and your English level must be high. And what are the top 5 occupations? Working in bars, working as a waiter, food trades assistant. That really means somebody who can be assist in any area in the food presentation of food. Cafe and restaurant managers, and of course, as I said, in this it says chefs. This is from the Australian government. What they mean really are those bottom levels of commis to sous chef, commis to chef de partie, cooks, and also potentially sous chefs. This is the area they're looking for. Some of the big employers here in Australia, you can recognise some of those. Certainly, you might not know Compass. Compass Group is all over the world. They employ lots of people. And then you know Burger King. Spotless Group is another big company employing many, many people in the food industry. And then you have Sodexo, the same. And McDonald's, we all know in the fast food area. In travel and tourism, you can also see here that, yes, the numbers went down during COVID, but they are beginning to come back and projected to go up very strongly over the next few years. Again, in tourism, very interesting to see the same skills they are looking for. And the occupations, look, we've got cleaners in here. Chefs are turning up in tourism as well. Accommodation and hospitality managers. So we're looking for people to manage hotels and accommodation services, waiters and cafe and restaurant managers. And you can see the hotel groups here. I'm sure you recognise all of those. So Marriott, Maryvale, you might not recognise. It's very popular in Australia. Intercontinental hotels, Hilton, and also Hyatt. So let's get on to how we can help you to succeed in the hospitality and tourism industries. As I said, Angliss wants you to achieve the best. We don't want you working at the bottom of this industry. We want you to become managers and achieve the very best that you can. William Angliss is Australia's only specialist TAFE for these industries. So if you do not know TAFE, what is it? It's a government tertiary college and stands for Technical and Further Education. They are all over Australia and they have many different areas of study. But at William Angliss, we only do hospitality, tourism, travel and events, and culinary. That's all we do, and that is all we have done for 82 years. So this makes us very, very special. We are government-owned, and we are the largest specialist training provider in Australia for these industries. So in 1 year, we have about 22,000 enrolments, and usually before COVID, and we're getting back there again now, we have about 1,800 international students from about 60 countries, including from the Philippines over many, many, many years. Last year was a fantastic year for us. And you might be thinking, who is this William Angliss Institute? We haven't heard of them before. Well, last year, we were Australia's top training provider for the year of 2021. We won this award this year for last year, which means we are the best large training provider in Australia. And this was awarded by the Australian government. So this is not a private award. This is the Australian government award. We also won, before that, we won the State Award for Victoria because we have a campus in Melbourne. So we won the best provider there, then to Australia. And we also were the gold winner for the State Tourism Awards. So that means if you have any question about who is William Angliss and are we any good? Are we a good training provider? Well, yes, we were the best last year in the country. So this is something we are very, very proud of. And you can be proud of when you train at a really high quality provider. It helps you with your career. So that's something we are, as I said, very, very proud of. What do we do here? What do we do at William Angliss? We have qualifications that go from certificate all the way up to, there's one line I should add at the bottom here, we also have master's degrees as of next year. So we have master's programs, we have 2 master's programs I'll talk about in a moment. What do these levels mean? At the top there, Certificate 3 and Certificate 4, this means developing skills. These are very practical. So if you want to learn some practical skills, so that's when you do a certificate program. As you go to diploma or advanced diploma, you start to learn supervision and management skills. And then up to bachelor degree, higher level management. If you are working in a kitchen as a cook or a chef, you only need to go to certificate level to get the skills, then you need to get experience. Now, most of our international students will go to a diploma or advanced diploma as a cook or a chef, or on their way to becoming a chef. So that is what you require, and that will take you about 2 to 2.5 years. Bachelor degrees, if you want to go to a higher level, so perhaps to become an executive chef, you need all of that. You need certificate, lots of work, diploma, advanced diploma, and maybe also a bachelor degree to assist you going even further. You can see our specializations there on the side. And as I said, next year, starting from February, we have 2 master's programs, one in international hotel leadership and another in international hospitality entrepreneurship. I know, again, from my experience in the Philippines, Filipinos are great entrepreneurs. Not only are they fantastic at customer service and hospitality, but great entrepreneurs. So here's an opportunity after your bachelor degree studies to continue to master's degrees. So why would we suggest coming to William Angliss to start your career in hospitality and tourism? We have 82 years experience in Australia, and not just in Australia, but across the region, so in Asia. I did not mention earlier, our main campus is in Melbourne, but we also have a campus in Sydney for culinary studies. We are government. That means you're going to get the best quality education, and it is secure, and the facilities are the highest level you can get. We have the largest and most comprehensive training facilities in Australia, in Melbourne, for all of the industries and all of the qualifications I've been talking about. Our employment outcomes. Now, if you want to get a job at the moment in hospitality, you can get a job. If you have skills, you'll get a better job. So in Australia at the moment, there's such a high demand that all of our students who are looking for jobs will find a job, but we want them to get the best job. The industry employers we survey every year, and over 85% of the employers that we surveyed said that they would recommend William Angliss students and graduates, and they would actually employ students from William Angliss as a priority. We have a very multicultural environment. As I said, about 60 countries each year. This year, it's about 50 countries after COVID. And very, very important when you're looking at a school in Australia, any school, we also have a balance of local students. So you are studying not just with a wide range of nationalities, but there is also about 50% will be local students. There we go. That's the next point. We are centrally located. So our school is large. As I said, the facilities are very large. And in Melbourne, we are in the centre of the city. This is fantastic for our students. It's very convenient, but also convenient for their work. So employment after school or before school is really, really convenient. In Sydney, our campus location is one train stop from the central station in Sydney. So a very short distance from the centre of Sydney, in an area with lots of accommodation and restaurants and cafes, and about 10 minutes walk from the railway station. Student support. We are like a mini university. You get all of the services that you would get at a university. We have a medical centre, we have libraries, we have learning support, we have lots of student activities and clubs. All of these things that you would expect at a large school, we have here in Melbourne. And in Sydney, it is like a family. They look after you with just about anything that you might need some assistance with. Oops, let's go back. So let me just play this short video again of how we will support you with your experience journey. That brings me to the end of my presentation, and I know that any queries you may have, IDP knows us so well that they will assist you with any further things you might need in terms of applying to William Angliss. But you can also email us directly. We'd be very happy to answer any questions you might have and give you extra information. And also, I invite you to visit our website. Our website will show you a broad range of information about William Angliss, including news about our students, where they are working, the types of things we are doing across Australia and internationally. So please have a look at our website. It's lots of fun. If you go searching, you'll find all sorts of interesting stories. And also, I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel, and you'll find all sorts of free stuff there, like cooking classes, master classes, classes about event management and flower decoration, all sorts of things. So I invite you to have a look at our YouTube channel, and you'll get an idea for the types of activities that our students and staff are involved in all of the time. So it is an exciting career, and it's a really exciting area to study in. We see students start here with not much of an idea of where they are going, and after a few years of studying with William Angliss, they are different people. They are excited by the industry, they have great jobs, and they are really looking forward to a future career in the industry. We have students who have, on graduation, have gone straight to management positions in hotels, and not just your very low standard hotels, in very high standard hotels. We have students who are working in the best restaurants in Australia. So that type of evidence shows that you can actually go a very long way if you study with a quality institute and you have all of those qualities I talked about at the beginning, about enthusiasm, being a people person, and perhaps liking food a lot as well. So thank you very much for attending today, and I'm very happy to take any questions. If you unmute, I'll be able to answer them live for you now. Thank you. Hello, Cecilia.
Students. Yeah. So if you have questions for Bruce, and yes, for Hannah, please unmute yourselves or chat. If you're a little bit shy, you can chat here and I will read the questions for Bruce, sorry. So anybody, please? Does that mean
there are a lot of people? I think there must be some questions.
yeah.
Don't be scared.
For sure. Maybe I can start
Sure.
some questions, Bruce. So what are the requirements for applying to William Angliss for, let's say, culinary course, certificate to diploma?
Certificate to diploma. Okay. So I'm going to hand over to Hannah now because I need to have, I've got a bit of a sore throat. Hannah, maybe you can give a brief introduction to our entrance requirements. That would be fantastic. Thanks, Hannah.
Yeah, sure. Just bear with a minute, I'll just say. So for Philippines, we do have accept high school in Philippines to get into our certificate course. If you have, let me just get, just bear with a minute. I think if you finish, for new education system, if you finished K-12 with the GPA is 80%, we do accept get into our certificate and diploma course. And if student who finish, of course, if anyone finish diploma or bachelor degree there, we look at the result. But usually, if we standard is just U12, K12, and GPA is 80.
80, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hannah. One thing we do look for is when we are assessing one of your applications, we do look at your background, we look at your results, but also we look at to make sure that you are not changing you have to demonstrate your passion. Why do you want to study these sorts of courses? Because we think it is very important. We want to make sure that you choose the right course. And we think it's very important that you get your visa. And sometimes it's hard to get a visa. So we work with IDP very closely to make sure that you are successful in your application and that you're successful in getting your visa as well. And we have a lot of success because we work so well with IDP in getting that application together.
That's great. Okay, so anyone has anyone typed in the questions yet? Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions.
I can see one, Cecilia, asking about a typical week. What do you do in a typical week if you're doing cookery or patisserie?
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
So it's a very good question. Because it's very interesting with COVID-19, many schools had to do their training online. And William Angliss, we did also our training online during COVID-19. But as soon as the government said that we could go back to school, we went back to school because we think it's very important that you're in one of our kitchens and you're doing practical training. Now, I didn't mention, we said we're the largest facility in Australia. In Melbourne, we have 17 kitchens. If you count all the kitchens everywhere, there's a lot of kitchens. So we think it's very important that you're actually being guided in the classroom, in a kitchen with your teacher. A typical week would be potentially 3 days a week on campus, and that would involve working in the kitchen. The kitchens would take a maximum of 15 students and to each teacher and each kitchen. You have your own ingredients. You don't share a chicken. You have your own chicken. You have your own piece of fish. You're not sharing and preparing things together. It is a little bit like MasterChef. When you prepare your dishes, you might have 3 dishes to prepare. You must bring them up to the chef at the front by yourself, and then they will look at it, they will taste it, and then they will give you feedback about your dish and how you've done it. So I always love to go and see the assessments when the students are cooking in the kitchen, when they bring the food up to the front of the class to the main desk with the chef, and you get your feedback. So the practical side of your classroom, of your training, you would have demonstration classes where the chefs will be showing you what to do, then you practice, and then you are assessed. It happens very quickly. In fact, your first assessment in cooking happens in about the second week of your time with William Angliss. It's very, very fast. The amount of practical training you do in a week, in those about 3 days of training, which is about 20 hours, you would be doing about, in the first year, you are doing approximately, I would say 75% practical, 70% practical, and about 30% theory. And then in the next 6 months, that changes to about 30% practical and 70% theory. The higher you go, you tend to do a bit more theory and less practical. Our students are getting employment in the second 6 months of their training. So once they have some basic skills, you are able to find some part-time employment. And that is very, very common.
Okay. Bruce, there's another question coming from Ashley, I think. Someone who have a bachelor's degree can take a master's degree at William Angliss. She wants to verify, and also wants to know if you have any scholarship program for international students. How does it work?
Good question. Good question. We do have. I'll start with going into the masters. It was only yesterday that we were approved. So in the last 2 days that we've had our masters approved. We have one approved. We're waiting for the next one. The entrance requirements, yes, you do need a bachelor degree, any bachelor degree. But the thing is, that bachelor degree should be something from business or from hospitality or something a little bit related. Otherwise, I would find it very difficult, I think. So that you do have to have a bachelor degree, and you need, and Hannah, if we looked at the IELTS requirement for that, I think we'd have an IELTS requirement of
6.5, yeah, no band less than 6. Yeah, that's the standard requirement.
Terrific, thank you. So that's possible. Scholarships. We do have a scholarship at the moment for our Melbourne campus for bachelor degree packages. And what do we mean by that? If you were doing hospitality and you wanted to do hospitality plus a bachelor degree, so that means a diploma program plus a bachelor degree, then you would be able to undertake that starting in February next year for Melbourne only. If you are going to, that's the only scholarship that's available for that package, unless you are applying for culinary starting in October of this year. So you don't have much time. So if you're applying for culinary plus a diploma, you can apply for a scholarship in Melbourne. Those scholarships are to the value of $2,500 of your first course in those packages. Other scholarships available to international students are after you commence your study. So once you commence your study, there are special scholarships for international students, and they're usually to the value of $3,000 to $4,000.
Thank you for that. And then we have another question about the range of fees coming from Jackaloo for each courses.
Okay. Hannah, fees. Do you want to talk about fees for me?
Sorry, Bruce, what's the fee for master course?
Right. No, just generally, I'll talk about it. So generally, yes,
sorry,
of course, there is a fee.
Directly to me, sorry.
It's okay. There are fees, correct. All of our fees are fees specific to students who are going to be studying as international students. As you go to our website under international students, you will see course fees for 2023, and also still there are course fees there for 2022. Each course has a different fee, and you pay your fees by semester. And at the moment, we are actually for this year accepting fees paid by term, but your first payment should be by semester. and it depends on the course. The most expensive courses would be the bachelor degree, so master's degree, bachelor's degree, and then culinary courses. Because culinary courses, as I said, we have the best ingredients. Everybody gets a lot, all food is included, and also it is very highly practical and a lot of contact. So yes, there are fees. They vary according to course. I invite you to go to our website and check the course fee tab, and you will see all of our fees there. Sydney courses are slightly cheaper than Melbourne courses. This is because Sydney is a smaller campus and you do not get all of the services that you get at our Melbourne campus.
Okay. So from CJ, I think the question of CJ is about the integration of a new student, of a new international student, yeah, with the
very good, great question. Good question.
Diverse.
Thanks,
Place.
Cecilia, and thank you, CJ. It's a good question. It's very interesting when you walk around the classes here at William Angliss. You can see that we are very proactive to make sure that the classes are culturally diverse. So they are divided by their country of origin, but also mixing with local students. It's very interesting when you see the classes. There is a mixture of nationalities, but also a mixture of gender and a mixture of age. So I think that's something very different and something to adjust to. In some courses, you might find a bit of a change in the gender. So if you are looking at patisserie, we tend to see mostly women will study patisserie. I don't know why, but most of the time it's mostly women in the courses, but you might find, say, 25% will be men. Yeah.
Right, okay. So how about the turnaround time for their application? Say they apply, how soon can they get an result?
These are great questions, really good questions. Okay, the turnaround time, we have a special service standard that we try and meet, but it depends on if the application is complete. That means if it is a good application with all of the things we need and everything has been done correctly, then you will get an offer from us within 2 days, if everything is complete.
2 days.
If it is, usually there is something like we will go back to IDP and Cecilia and say, oh, we need a little bit more information or we need something else. So it might take a bit longer. But when you get an offer from us, we say, yes, we are very happy to have you as a student. Here is your offer, and it will say you need to pay this much money to accept your offer. If you pay that money, we will have your, what we call is a confirmation of your enrollment within 24 hours.
I see.
That is what we try to do. So it can be very fast if everything is complete.
So I just add something because some of students, they directly make questions direct to me. If any student would like us to look to your qualification or academic transcript in terms of exemptions, please submit application to IDP. Our admission team will look to application and get back to you, because through the chat room, I cannot answer straight away how much can get read it. So please submit application to IDP directly, and then we will look to and get back to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hannah.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any more questions for our guests? I don't see any more questions coming from the chat. So, yeah.
I must say, Cecilia, I'm really grateful for you organising today, and also thank you for everyone for attending and staying in the room. Thank you very much. It's great.
Yeah, I think they're all really interested. So, okay, just in case you still have questions, you can send us an email or you can chat with my team, and we will definitely reach out to you and answer your queries. In the coming days, we'll be calling each one of you, and one of our counselors will engage or reach out to you for further assistance. Okay, so so I think we're good. Maybe if you have some last messages for them, Bruce and Hannah.
Look, I'd just like to say again, thank you. Thank you, IDP. Thank you, Cecilia. And thank you all of you for coming along. I can tell by your interest that you are probably already very suitable for this industry. I have had about 10 different careers in my life, and the most fun I had was in hospitality and tourism.
Wow.
and
That's
some of that time was in the Philippines. So I'm very,
Oh,
it's something where you learn. I think the thing that is good about this industry is that you learn skills you will use in any job in the future. So we have students who have finished with William Angliss, they start in hospitality, and then I find that they're working as in another industry, but very high up. So marketing people, a lot of them come from our school and they are working in marketing because they develop presentation skills, communication skills, thinking skills. These are all very valuable skills to get. So it is not something general, but they are very important skills that you will learn when you're preparing for William Angliss, for work in the hospitality and tourism industry. And William Angliss, that's what we try and do. We want you to develop personally and professionally.
agree. So again, thank you very much. We are very fortunate to be able to put together our colleagues from William Angliss Institute. They are actually the best in the industry. And so we're fortunate to have them here. And for all of you, we're sure that you're going to be in good hands with William Angliss Institute for your future careers. So thank you for attending and have a good day, everyone. Have a good weekend ahead. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
TGIF. See you. Bye-bye.
Right. It's Friday. Yes.
Yeah,
Bye,
bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Sophia.